What's up, everybody? Keith, Josh, and Alan here, and today we're going to be bringing you our review of The Scorpion King 4: The Quest for Power.
That movie sucked, in my opinion.
I mean, when you think about that movie, as far as my mind goes, you guys pointed out during the movie, it's Hercules, the Kevin Sorbo TV show.
Sound effects, everything. The way they did the kicks was the same exact way, where the kick don't really touch them, but they fly and they make that sound effect. The music, background music for the fighting, sounded like Pirates of the Caribbean. At one point, it looked like it sounded like they took the soundtrack off of Kevin Sorbo's Hercules.
So the plot of this movie, we follow the Scorpion King, the same Scorpion King The Rock. It's not a different Scorpion King, it's the same Scorpion King. And he's basically trying to find this crown. For some reason, don't know. Because some old guy told him to do it. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And then he finds these characters, and then they search for the crown. It's basically Indiana Jones. That's pretty much the bottom. The ending of the movie is exactly Indiana Jones, down to the traps on the floor and the crown that saved somebody's life. And
this movie had terrible, terrible humor.
Oh,
the humor was terrible. It was not even funny humor.
It was attempts at humor.
We came to the conclusion this movie came out. The first one came out, what, 14 years ago? Something like that. 12 to 14 years ago. This movie has comedy. Like, they treat us like we're, like, in second grade. And I'm like, who's that for? Kids aren't going to know what the Scorpion King is, because they would have been, like, 3 when this movie first came out. You know, the fourth installment, why would you... Why? I just don't understand.
The set pieces don't make any sense. Geographically don't make any sense.
You got the woods, you got Egypt, you got some kind of Power Ranger lair, you got Ireland, and
you had the Irish pub with a UFC fighting cage in it.
Hey, what's with all the UFC fighters in this freaking movie? Why don't they just go down the roster of all the UFC people and they just raise their hand? Who wants to be a Scorpion King? You? Come on, me.
Yeah, there's a Gracie, a Silva,
Roy Nelson.
Oh my god. Well, you know what about this movie too? Like, this movie threw out the violence of it. Like, it's PG-13, not even for what? It could be a PG movie. Because it warrants the 13.
3 scenes. 3 scenes at the end, maybe. Maybe.
Like, the fight scenes are comedic.
Every single one.
Trying to be comedic.
Every single one of them. Mm-hmm. None of them are serious.
No one even attempts to take a life. But, like, the lives that are taken aren't even on purpose.
And it's comedic. It's used for comedic purposes.
And you don't get blood until the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yep.
People getting stabbed, cut, you don't see blood until the end of the, last 20 minutes.
It's like you're watching it's like you're watching the TV show Hercules.
It is. It's exactly. It's like a made-for-TV. It just looks just like the Kevin Sorbo Hercules.
Even though Hercules wasn't the best of shows, how much more it was better than this though.
Oh
yeah.
And you know what? The number one thing that bothered me about this movie, I mean, worse than the acting, worse than the CG, worse than the crappy comedy, was the movie's lack of believability to itself, kinda.
Oh, and magic?
Yeah, and magic, because like the first Scorpion King movie, there's a sorceress, there's powers, and of course the Mummy franchise is the Mummy franchise, which let's face it, this what this all started from was the Mummy, an actual mummy coming up, plagues, powers, that's what this all leads to, and for some reason there's a character in this whose main purpose is to denounce magic, and says it's all science. Way ahead of his time. I mean, everything's magnets. And you know what? He's right. In the movie, he's right. Everything is science. So, I mean, there's a dragon. Of course, the dragon's made out of fucking gears, metal, and wood, and motion sensors for some reason. So there's a motion sensor dragon that's made out of that. But yet, in the future, The Rock is a giant scorpion monster. The Scorpion King becomes a scorpion monster. That's what this all boils down to. You're trying to tell me scientifically now, it's all science. Magic doesn't exist.
Yeah. This movie's disputing itself, like Alan said here. It's cutting out the magic. I mean, grant there is at the end of the movie obviously going to be magic too, because you can't have the whole thing without magic. So here's a one scene of magic. One little glimmer of hope.
And I think it's only magic because they were ripping off of Indiana Jones. That's the only reason why it was magic. I'm telling you, it is the frame for frame, beat for beat, the exact ending to The Last Crusade. Exactly. From the minute they walked into that place, it was The Last Crusade.
And you know what? The movie seems to like try to borrow from other movies also, because you know there's the influences from the Hercules TV show, the Indiana Jones here, and then the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, when they like have to get to a mountain, a lonely mountain.
They started that. And you know, that was weird too, because they started that and the movie was already like halfway done. And they started their fellowship.
The quest for power does not really begin until about 40 minutes into this movie. For a direct-to-DVD movie or a direct-to-Netflix movie, apparently. To start,
yeah, that's right. You can watch this for free, you might as well do it.
To start your journey at 40 minutes, you're taking too long to get to the point. Okay, that movie should... That's 40 minutes of nonsense that I had to sit through first. You know, and it's just inconsistent, because one guy gets knocked out by a pottery thing, but the Scorpion King can run through a wall and be okay.
Yeah.
This movie, to me, was... I haven't, you know what? I've seen Scorpion King 1, 3, and 4 now, and I've never seen 2. But I'm gonna say this is the worst Scorpion King of all.
I've seen all of them, sadly.
I'm gonna say this is the worst one.
I don't remember anything of 3. I remember bits and pieces of 2.
This one is the worst one, because, I remember part 2, because I liked it a lot more than 3 and 4, only because it's him as a kid, a teenager, I guess, whatever you want to call it, and showing you how he got his skills and how he became the assassin that he is from that early age.
Yeah.
It's like watching young Hercules, a young Indiana Jones type of thing, where he's a kid with his whole crew.
I don't remember anything in 3. Like,
3 has Billy Zane, Ron Perlman.
That's all I remember from part 1.
Batista with the blades of chaos from God of War. He had that.
That's all I remember, though.
And ninjas.
Ninjas, apparently, somewhere in this movie.
And ninjas.
And Scorpion King 4, I can guarantee you, will give me nothing memorable. I'll forget this movie in a week.
I probably will. I won't forget it because it was just so ridiculous. Like, everything in the movie was just so ridiculous. It was like, what the hell were they thinking when they made this movie? I don't know who they made it for.
It gave me moments of laughter. I will tell you this, if you want to laugh at a dumb piece of crap, here's the crap to laugh at. So I'm going to give this a D+.
I agree.
D+.
I give it the same thing just because...
You know what? For the first time, this might be unanimous. So I'm going to say D+. I wouldn't quite give it an F because, I mean, it was filmed well.
I won't give it an F just because it brought me back flashbacks of Kevin Sorbo Hercules.
It was funny to watch in shock and awe because of how ridiculous it was, especially with the group. Like, and you know what? It was free. It was on Netflix.
You know, before I forget, let's talk about the couple Spartacus here.
Sasha?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about her for a minute, okay? She's in this movie, and I guarantee you she borrowed her clothes off the set of Spartacus and walked to the set. Because she's wearing the exact same clothes, down to the daggers on her side.
Even the braid in her hair, she braided it the same exact way.
Even the one braid, you see? There you go.
All the time. Even her fight scenes, she went crazy a little bit, like she did in Spartacus.
So I'm gonna say...
That girl has incredible abs, though.
Her abs are amazing.
Her abs are amazing.
Good job. But D+.
Yeah, I think all around D+. I mean, the fighting, horrible. Acting, horrible. CG, horrible. Plot, horrible. Humor, horrible. The only saving grace was that it was kind of filmed well, kind of. and it wasn't insulting. It wasn't really insulting my intelligence in the movie. It was testing my patience. It wasn't insulting my intelligence. Although, you know what? This movie, though, you know what? The other stuff gave it the D. You know what gives it the plus? Is it was paceable. There wasn't really many dragging points in the movie. No. They were at least always doing something. You know, they went from set piece to set piece to set piece, and they were at least active.
We had the beginning, which was, you know, with the Lou Ferrigno's there for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
At the beginning, we get to the
castle,
the middle portion of the movie, which is towards the Lord of the Rings, and then we get to the end of Indiana Jones, and there you go. So we got 3 different things there. So
I mean, overall, it's a good. You know, if you want to chill at home, you got nothing else to watch. You got a group of friends. You can watch it. You'll laugh at how dumb it is, not the comedy they're giving you. You'll laugh at the lack of comedy that they're giving you.
Yeah, you probably laugh at that, or if you just like the Scorpion King. Because maybe there might be. There's obviously an audience out there who got 4 of these movies
somehow.
So if you're
even the Mummy doesn't have 4 movies. The Scorpion King got them on that. That's pretty impressive.
You outlasted the Mummy. Holy hell! Outlasted the Mummy. There might be 1 more, 2 more, 3 more.
There could be anyone because he still hasn't become the fucking Scorpion monster, so we can drag this out forever.
Right? He hasn't summoned the Anubis army.
No, and so that's all I want to see in the movie. And you know what? If at this steady rate, the worse you get, the more I might enjoy it. If you stop taking yourself seriously, I might enjoy you.
Which this movie clearly did.
It didn't stop enough. It didn't stop enough.
It clearly stopped though. But that's Scorpion King 4. Let us know what you think about the movie if you've seen it. Let us know if you want to see it.
We'll see you next time, guys.
See you next time.